Okay, so the Douglas Cultural Council will come to meeting at 6:10 p.m. on the 5th. As we begin, we'll just invite Nora Wormy, our former chairperson, to come to join us at the table.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Nora.
According to the rules of the Massachusetts Cultural Council, I can't do more than 2 terms in a row. According to them, my term is up, so I am officially turning in my badge as chair of your Cultural Council. I have a badge, and now it's here.
Thank you.
Thanks. I've enjoyed being your chair.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And if you could just stay with us at the table for the rest of the meeting, just to advise us or
Provide
help
information, sure.
provide information, that would be awesome. So I guess we'll just go over the summer concert series. We had 3 concerts at the Douglas Orchard and Farm.
We had more than that. Correction.
Sorry, thank you.
Because
That's why
we
you're here.
had 4. We had Whisker Pickers, Hip Swayers, the Beatle Tribute Band,
That's right.
and then Mark Mandeville and Ray Ann Richards.
I think I was thinking 2 of them were together.
I can report on those if you like, because
That
I
would be great.
attended all of them.
And I think there was some great turnout.
Yes. The average attendance for most of the concerts was about 100. I think one of them was like in the 80s or 90s. I don't have that information on hand, but it was well over 100, which is more than twice as much as we had when we had the concerts on the Common. So you might want to discuss whether you want to continue or discontinue. That's my advice to you on that, so.
Thank you. I guess the next thing would be to vote on the potential candidate for the Douglas Cultural Council.
I think
Or how does
that
that
you
work?
have to reorganize first.
Okay.
You don't have a chair.
Oh, which would,
Make a big difference.
we have an empty chair.
I apologize.
That's okay, it's not your fault, you're following the rules. So I guess we need a chairperson.
Does anyone want to entertain?
I am right now the acting chair on the Board of Library Trustees, and I cannot take on another thing, and I also don't think it would be ethical to be
A double chair?
a double chair where
Considering
one is
this.
funding the other.
Mm-hmm.
So
Fair enough.
I would recuse myself.
I said at the last meeting, I don't mind co-chairing, but I feel like it's hypocritical of me to be the chair since I'm not here when the summer concerts are here. I'm gone for like 3 to 4 weeks in the summer, and it just seems kind of odd not to make a public appearance at those kinds of events.
Yeah, summer is tough.
Question.
Nora, can you go over,
Mhm.
can you give an overview? Are we expecting anyone else? Do we know? I know, I think we're
We
missing a couple people, which would
Got
be nice if they
confirmation
were
from
here.
everybody, but I don't know.
Are 2
if
people
something
late?
came up.
Yeah. Well, my suggestion to you would be at the next meeting, whether or not you vote in anybody tonight, which, if it was me, I would prefer to have everyone present so
yeah.
that you could really,
That's fair.
especially since there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You do have a
Yeah.
quorum, but
But still.
it would be good to have input of everyone.
Mhm.
But as far as the duties, they can be divided up. I've done a lot of work. When I started 6 years ago, I did every single thing, every duty that was ever needed for the Cultural Council to function. And that included making sure that the bills payable got filled out for the town of Douglas. When someone does enter something for payment, you typically get 2 pieces of paper from them at least. One is an official reimbursement form, which now can be done online, so you might see ones with like, you know, computerized signatures as opposed to the others, and an invoice. We also request proof from them that they were there. However, for the ones that I have, I was at all 3 concerts, and I did see it on the summer schedule for the Douglas Farm, where you had the concerts. So that's part of it. The other part of it is calling meetings. And how you do that is you go to the
Town clerk?
town clerk, or you send her an email. That is the most efficient. Tell her when you want to have the meeting, what time, and what the agenda is. And then she will post it for you and also arrange with the cable committee to arrange someone to come and film that. By law, it has to be filmed. No meetings are to be held privately. That's for sure. Some of the other things that I've been...
One thing to note on meetings is they need to be posted at least 48 hours ahead of time.
48 hours in
Which means business
advance.
days. So if you're having a meeting on Monday, that means you would have to have posted it by Thursday.
Yeah, and she would like it by Wednesday. Just to make it easier. If you have to cancel, I think, excuse me, cable person,
Yes.
when can committees cancel and it's okay? How many hours before?
I know that if it's not canceled within 2 hours before, if we're not notified, we'll still be paid.
Correct.
So it must be.
Okay, so before 2 hours, but boy, it would be a lot better if you knew you were gonna cancel, just tell them right away, so that they can alert them. So they can cancel their filming.
And I could take on that responsibility as secretary of planning and organizing the meeting. Once the chairperson says when it's going to be, I would easily contact everybody. I can take that on as secretary.
Okay. The division of jobs has always been a challenge. The first round that I did, we went around the table and it was a different makeup than this. I don't even remember if anybody was on the committee when I started. But I have a list made up at home that has the different jobs that people can do, and people signed up for them. One of the things that we really needed was someone to do the publication, getting the word out. Not just Dynamic Douglas or Facebook, but contacting the newspapers. Also sending something to the cable so that they can put a little blurb on their channel, so that we're having the meeting. I mean, so that we're having a concert or whatever needs to be done. That's for concerts. Let me think, what else? Another thing that needs to be done, and normally it's done by the treasurer, would be doing the annual report. Part of that has been done by the secretary before, part of it's been done by me. The treasurer should be meeting with the town accountant to reconcile all the money that was reimbursed or encumbered, or
Right.
disencumbered, or unencumbered. Yeah, cucumbered. Before I forget, I did meet and was able to act as your chair for the last time we had to do this, to reconcile the files, because as of June 30th, I was technically still chair, so I was able to meet with her. I don't know what the fiscal year 19 grant will be. However, we encumbered from fiscal year 17, Gary Poplawski had never asked for $200 from us for his performance at Oktoberfest, but when I saw him, I talked to him about it, and he said he didn't play, so therefore he didn't ask for money.
Oh,
Honest.
So, yeah, but it would have been nice to know, but that's okay. But what you need to do is add $200 to the total grant amount that you'll receive. Okay. So I don't know what your grant amount is gonna be, but
I heard there was an increase.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
And there's a $200 increase as well.
There you
So
go.
we happen anyway.
So you'll be good with that. Pretty much, if I think about it now, just off the top of my head, almost everybody from the 2018 year grant cycle has been paid, with the exception of, I believe, the Council on Aging, because they kind of like use little bit, so you'll see things during the year. I had arranged with the person from the Council on Aging to email me when she sent in something, because that way I would know to go to the town hall to pick up the paperwork. It's just hard to check it like all the time,
Mhm.
especially if you've already used up all your money and you know it's just them. So they've been good about that, sending in an email. So whoever is chair, that probably would be a good idea to send to. And however you decide to, arrange your jobs. I have spoken to Charlotte Cutler from the Massachusetts Cultural Council in Boston. She is our liaison. She has offered to come and help you with the next meeting to figure out what to do, how to set the jobs up.
That would be great.
I will give you the documents that I used 6 years ago, and that will help you have a
Mhm.
start to figure out what to do. There's just so many little jobs that like pop up. So having that list is very handy. I apologize for not having it on me tonight. I just whipped right in here tonight.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, you're welcome. So let me think, are there other things that are necessary? Oh, I do have news for everyone. No one is up to date on their conflict of interest paperwork with the town, so everyone has to get that in. There's a conflict of interest,
I've been walking around with a certificate, a copy of my certificate in my bag forever. But you know what? It's probably outdated
Expired
by
by
now.
now.
it might have been from before,
Well, I got it through my work. I used
Which-
to have to do it every year,
which is
but,
fine.
It's the
I'm-
same one.
yeah, but I'm
It's
not
the
working
same.
anymore.
It's the same one. If you took it last year, then it's not any good.
Exactly.
You
So
know.
I'm almost positive it's,
And there is one
More than you
online,
know.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that there's
Yeah.
something in the MCC website that tells you
And I have the
where to
link,
get
I
that
can
training.
send it to everyone too.
If you work at a school or any other public place, you can take what you've used and just copy it to bring it in. What I did, which was very handy, is you know how when you get to the certificate page,
Yes.
you put your name and like where you work? I did it twice. I did it once for where I worked, and then I also just hit the back button after I printed it, and I put the Douglas Cultural Council. So if you are able to do that, that just makes it super easy. You bring that into the town clerk as well.
Okay.
She has informed me that nobody is up to date. We're all expired.
does that
one-
mean we're fired?
No, you can still operate, but
No.
it's something necessary that you do have to catch up
No,
on.
I know.
Yeah.
Also, the website is changed, so I don't know who it is, but somebody has not taken their basic training with the Massachusetts Cultural Council.
Do you only do
on the
that once?
website. You only do it once.
Okay,
You
got
can
it.
take it again and refer to it if you feel like having a refresher, that's fine. You can skip over the parts that you already know, that's fine. It's not like you have to say you did it again, it's just the person who didn't do it, and I assume it's one of the newest people.
I bet it's me. I swore I,
You might have taken it, you've been here for a while.
yeah.
But the website's changed and it doesn't say who it is. It just says, warning, one of your members has not taken the basic
So
training.
it's
Like
So-
one person, because there wasn't a separate login for us individually.
No, they've changed the way it looks. You know when you go on and you can see your members?
Oh, it's
And
in
you
that
see where
section?
you are, it's right in there, and it's right at the top of the page, and it says somebody hasn't taken it, and it just
I'm
doesn't
gonna
say
check
who
into
takes
that.
it. So, they could probably find out for you if you called Charlotte Cutler before the meeting, or even before that would probably be better, because then you can contact that person and have them do the training before we meet, or you meet.
So if you go on there, will it tell you who's taken it?
That's what I'm saying, they've changed the website, and it only says that one person has not taken the training.
It's
It
probably
won't-
that one
it
person when
doesn't
they
s-
log in will see, it'll tell them. you
It
haven't
might,
taken
that's
it.
what
I
It's
might.
probably where it is.
When I asked Charlotte, she didn't know that answer,
Okay,
so.
I'll check it out.
All right.
It might be the honesty patrol that has to come out, and somebody will say, okay, I'll take it. That
I'll check it.
I really urge whoever hasn't taken it to take it, because it really gives you a lot of information that you'll need in order to do that. So that's all I can think of right now. As chair, I also functioned as the announcer for any of the concerts or things like that. It was a pleasure to do it. If I am available and if everybody else doesn't want to do announcing, I can just go up as chair emeritus and do your announcing as a favor for you. But
Only
maybe
if
some
you
of
bring
the,
your drum.
maybe, caught me, did you?
Yeah, that was great.
I played with one of the bands for a couple of songs. I play the djembe. I learned how to play that this summer, so that was kind of fun. Yeah. It was a very good concert series, I have to
liked
say.
it a lot. I love the setting.
The setting is great, plenty of parking, and it's really quiet, so that you can really hear the music well. There's bathrooms there. I know that the farm is going to plan on having a handicapped accessible bathroom and 2 regular bathrooms, plus a working kitchen next year, so things might change for you guys a little bit. But I hear that people were picking blueberries and they could still hear the concert, so.
Oh, yeah.
It was great because you could do anything you wanted to. They had kids playing with the tetherball and rolling around on the grass and all that kind of stuff, so.
It's a
But
lot
that's
of
up to
people,
you.
too.
Excuse me?
It's a lot of people, 100
A
people.
lot
lot.
of people. It was a lot. And, that was one thing I was gonna say, and I forget what it was. Forget what I was gonna say. It's gone now, so, sorry. If it comes back, I'll let you know.
So the other thing is the letters, sending out the letters, is that for the chair or that can be anybody?
Technically, it could be,
I've done it. The secretary in the
the
past.
secretary normally would do the letters, and then I would sign it, or if the chair gives permission, the secretary could sign it.
I'm happy to help with that.
Okay, thank you.
So, we could also have somebody else sign it. I would check, though, with, the cultural council,
Who needs
actually.
to?
Who's okay to. We've had it for ourselves, just the chair and the secretary. We've been paying for our own postage. One question you may want to ask Charlotte when she comes to the meeting is, can you email any of the denial or the acceptance letters? Because that would save on postage.
Yeah.
We do have some money saved aside in our budget to do things like pay for postage. We just never really bothered, you know.
Mhm.
What's 10
I
stamps?
scavenged the house for stamps and envelopes.
And envelopes. So perhaps that could be something you guys could discuss, how much and what things you want to buy for supplies. That'd be fine. Last thing I would like to hear is somebody scavenging for
Well,
forever stamps.
I bought 3 years ago.
That's when you
I-
save money.
I know, I hardly ever,
It's good.
ever have to mail anything. Everything's electronic.
Yeah. So the reimbursements, I actually have some to do here, so let me explain it to everyone in case somebody else is gonna fill it out, which definitely tonight that's gonna happen. The performer or the artist will give you a package. They'll either mail it to you or hand it to you at the day if they know you're gonna be there. It'll be the reimbursement form, the invoice, and the proof that they advertised for it, and also mentioned the Massachusetts Cultural Council, the Douglas Local Cultural Council. Okay, they have to have that on there, and they need to mention it when they're doing their performance. whatever artist it is. If you ever end up having something like an art exhibit, for example, there needs to be a sign that says this was sponsored by the Douglas Cultural Council, part of the Massachusetts Cultural Council. That's something that definitely needs to be there. So, when you get it, whoever ends up being chair or whoever wants to get this is the town's schedule of bills payable. It's very simple to fill out. It already says local cultural council on it. You fill in the date. You put the first thing you put down is the name of the person that is getting the check, their invoice number. If there is no invoice number, you put the date in of the performance. These three happen to have invoice numbers, so those were in. Then the amount that is going to be paid goes in the center, right here. And then a description. So, for example, this says Whisker Pickers Summer Concert, etc. And then there's a G/L number, which is something that they use in the accounting office, and it's already printed on there, so you guys should be all set with that. It totals it for you. You type in the total amount at the top. 2 people have to sign this from the Cultural Council. It does not have to be the chair, it just has to be 2 people. Okay? And then 2 people have to sign all of the reimbursement forms that people send in. You sign it, you print your name, you date it. Then all of these things, but not the advertisement parts, because the town doesn't need a copy of that. You need the reimbursement form and the invoice and this bills payable to all be photocopied. We keep the photocopy. The originals have to go to the town accountant's box, and you just stick it in there.
Now, do we wait until we get them all?
No.
Okay, we can just
I just happened to collect
copy
these
of
3
this.
because they were like a
Okay.
week apart, so.
Gotcha. So we'll fill out a new one of these.
For the
As we're
next
getting them.
stuff you get, which is probably only gonna be, if I don't get anything from the library, because I don't remember whether they had anything or not to pay. But definitely the Council on Aging. There's gonna be some that you're gonna have to do for that. So, it's simple, but
Do you want me to take care of that, like, as treasurer? Or,
well, here's the problem. All of this stuff gets mailed to the chair. So the chair is the person who's gonna know first that we have a bill to pay.
okay,
If the chair wants to hand this over to you, and then you fill out all this, that's fine. If the chair chooses to fill it out themselves, and then sign their name on the top one, and then email everybody like we started doing it towards the end, and a person says, I'll be in at 5 to sign it, that second person is responsible for doing the photocopying. It worked out pretty good, you know. In the past, I had been running around driving to people's houses right and left to look for signatures, so that was definitely not as easy, and I'm glad we came up with the simplified solution of, you know, just texting people and letting people know. I'm happy I haven't used my tissues. Crowns in the middle.
so these people are waiting to be paid.
Yep, so you guys are gonna take care of this tonight.
Okay.
Very simple.
Right.
I can hand them over to you. I'm gonna save this until we figure out who the chair is. And then they can decide if they're gonna finish the annual report, or is it gonna be your responsibility as treasurer. So you just sign right up on the top right
Yep.
there. You got it.
Yep.
You've done that one
Exactly
before.
Exactly the same as the library.
Yep.
And,
Yep, there you go.
right.
So, and
So how long do you normally, let's say you've got a concert, then another one in 2 weeks, and another one in 2 weeks? Do you just do them each individual when you hand them in, or do you
if you want to,
wait
you
them
can,
together?
or
I mean,
you
I know
can.
sometimes it's a week apart, so you could,
Does it matter to the town? Do they have a preference or they don't?
I think according to the Massachusetts Cultural Council, and again, it's been 6 years since I've taken my basic training, I think you have up to 4 weeks to
Okay.
pay off. It's a good amount of time. So,
Enough.
I mean, even if you just let it sit there and you knew there
Put a
was
few
another one
together.
in 2 weeks,
okay.
that's fine as far as their rules are concerned. If you want to pay it off, that's fine too. Either way.
So we gather that, fill out the form, 2 people sign the form.
And they sign the bills payable form,
Yep.
and they also sign the performers form.
Okay.
And everything's in order, so that's his
Sign
invoice.
this too?
No, that's his
No.
invoice, it just goes with that.
Okay.
And then double sign there, so whoever decides to sign is gonna do that next.
And then we make a copy, we keep a copy, and the other one goes so that I can get paid.
Mm-hmm.
To the town accountant. Her box is all the way on the left at about eye level. Invoice,
Mm-hmm.
so. I'm sure there's a lot of other things that could come up. Does anybody have any other, questions they want to ask of what kind of things that I've been responsible for over the last 6 years?
So the main cycle is like now, or soon, we'll be getting an announcement of what we have for money, and then we have till October 15th for applications to come in. We do
Yes.
it again in the spring, right?
Mm.
No, that's it for the year?
What happens is, it's a totally electronic system now, so no paper allowed. If someone from library could mention that to Deb Soderman, because she gave us paper last year, I just don't want her to
Okay.
get caught in the web of paperwork here. Tell her it has to be online. So they just go on the Massachusetts Cultural Council website, go on the right-hand side for applicants, for people who want to get a grant, for possible grantees, and they just follow every step.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a pain in the neck from what I hear from the performers, but it makes it easier for us because we can see everything in a panel book.
Yeah.
The deadline for grants is October 15th unless it falls on a holiday or a weekend, in which case it goes to the next following business day.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a good idea for someone to put in the newspaper that we are accepting grants and explain what that is. Mary, I think in the past we've actually done that. You might want to look and see if there's,
I don't delete emails, so it must be there.
it might be in the emails to the Tribune or something like that.
1 second.
And then that would be a good one to go off of for announcing that grants are available. The deadline is October 15 or whatever it is. And then also say what kind of things you want. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. By the way, every 3 years you have to do the public interest survey. We just did it this year, so we're all set. However,
it.
on the website, I did not change the date, so that has to be changed.
Is this copy machine working? Can I make copies here? Do you know?
I would wait until after the meeting.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're jumping on it.
No, I just want to be done. What I have to do.
Do you remember the contact at the Tribune by any chance?
It changed, but you know what?
That's
If
true.
you read the Tribune and you see I think it's a woman now who's the main writer,
I
like
was trying to search for it.
several articles on there. It's a woman. If you look at any time you get the Tribune, you will see that. I would assume that would be the person that you'd send it to, because I think that's the person that we used to use as a contact before. It was a male, remember?
Greg.
Greg.
I just saw his, but that wasn't the one. I'll look
Okay.
again.
So
Maybe I will find it.
I think you guys are at kind of a standing point right now,
Yeah.
because I'm just saying my opinion as a person out in the audience. I think it would really be ideal to have everyone at the meeting so that you could really have a clear discussion of it. The last thing that I would want to see is not having a cultural council anymore, because that might happen if we don't have a chair, that they'll pick up on that very quickly. Or B, you get stuck with the entire job, and that wouldn't be fair either, because what you would like to be is the co-chair, and then you can divide up your jobs thusly.
So are we allowed to have a co-chair, or is that just
Oh, yeah, you
unofficial?
can have a co-chair. Yep, you can do co-chairs. That's allowed.
So there's chair, potentially co-chair, secretary, treasurer,
treasurer.
that's it?
That's it. Someone also has to keep the member list updated on the Cultural Council website. That would probably fall to the chair. Just because normally what happens is a person applies, I get an email or a phone call from the secretary to the Board of Selectmen asking if the
Committee?
committee agrees with this appointment. And normally it's been somebody that's been in the community and everybody knows. So if it's somebody like that, then, you know, I would just ask people, you good? Okay, we'll go. I don't think a meeting is 100% necessary on that. If there are people who don't know the individual, it would probably be a good idea to meet. We haven't run into that yet. Probably will soon.
I would offer a suggestion to find out when, and her name's just goes right on my, Charlotte is available to come to a meeting and
Get
hold our
everyone
next
here.
meeting around that,
Mhm.
and really urge, we're looking for we need to fill 2 positions, right? 2 people on the, how many, does it matter how many we have?
The minimum amount of members is 5,
Okay.
Put chair and two co-chairs.
but you can have 2 co-chairs, you can have a secretary, and you can have a treasurer.
Okay.
So,
So we're missing 2 prospective,
is there a
Members?
treasurer
2
missing?
current members we're missing right now.
2
Right.
current people are missing from the meeting,
okay.
Mhm.
and I won't be at the next one, but, so there's that problem, you know, just voting for a chair, but it's up to you guys.
Is there a maximum number?
No. But 5 is the minimum. And then when you hold a meeting, if there's like less than half, you can't have the meeting.
Okay.
You have to reschedule.
Quorum is 5, right?
Depends on who
It
you
depends
have.
on how many people you have. If you have 5 people on your cultural council, then you have to have 3 people to have a meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
If you have 7 people, then you'd have to have, do the math.
5.
5.
4, sorry.
But
It just has
should-
to be
More than half.
more than
to be able
half.
to
But
do
it's
majority.
usually an odd number, so there's not a tie and a vote. So if you have.
At the meeting.
Yeah, yeah. Any committee or board or anything that I've been on, where there's a lot of people, the quorum's always been 5.
Hmm.
For that reason.
I'm not 100% sure of that because there's other people I know, and when they say quorum, they mean
More than half.
more than half.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's not like 5 is half. If you have 15 people on the thing, that can't be a quorum.
It is.
The cultural council
Well,
wouldn't accept it. And I'm not sure that it even flies with the town rules. I'm not sure of that.
I like the idea, but yeah,
They may, you know, whatever group you're speaking of, they may have made a vote of that and decided on that, and it's okay with the town. But as far as the cultural council, they have to have the quorum, which is more than half.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
it's the problem we run into with the historical society in the winter, when people start showing up for meetings, and we don't have a quorum, it's just like.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That might have been where it started, yeah. Mhm. So,
Sounds like we need to rally the troops and get everyone in here.
So there's an example. There are, I believe, 7 board members on the library board, and our quorum is 5. It wouldn't be 4. It doesn't make sense to have an even
So
number.
round up. So if it's, go out to the next odd number.
Right, so it's 5.
I can see the reasoning, but I don't,
I would suggest that you look into this, just to find out for sure.
Yeah.
But we generally tend to be a fairly small group
Right.
of people.
Right.
We know we're the funnest group that
Oh,
meets
we're
in this
wild and
room,
crazy.
but we don't always get everybody we want. That's okay. So I would suggest looking into it.
Mm.
Yeah, so we're gonna find out when we can all be
With
there, you know,
I can
and just
email
with Charlotte
Charlotte.
and say, what does she have open, and we need to get everyone there, 'cause it's,
Okay.
Yeah.
you know, so we all fully understand what it is.
I think voting in a chair is important to have
Before we
as
make
full
any
attendance as
decision.
possible.
Correct.
And before we make any other decisions.
Right, and
And you
also-
can't really make any other decisions
Without
until
a
that.
chair.
Right.
But just jumping back to the grant cycle, I want to jump back to that for a minute.
Mhm.
The deadline for the grantees is October 15th, but there's a different date that we are allowed to meet, and I think it was somewhere around Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
And it can be up until the end of the year. One year we met, I think it was the year we were sick. That was in
Yes,
November.
that was,
And then last year we met in like December. Like it was really late. It was like
It's like-
December 27th or something like
It was
that.
like
I
vacation
remember
week.
that.
I remember
Yeah.
that one. That was kind of an odd timing, but
yeah.
it's that. So, you got plenty of time.
Oh, okay,
After October
Right,
15th to look
Right.
at,
yep.
To look at and get all
at
of us
the,
together.
they call it like a portrait book or something like that. What was it?
Playbook.
Playbook?
No.
It wasn't a playbook. Portfolio?
Not a lookbook.
No, I don't remember. It was a P
Lookbook.
word.
Panel book.
Panel
Panel
book.
book,
You're good.
which is weird.
I'm
She has
reading.
it
I
printed out.
remembered. I hit print. Yep.
You obviously took your training.
She's not the one.
She's not the one.
No, it wasn't me. I did that.
I'll put my crown here too.
Oh my God,
Oh.
shouldn't that go across
You know,
your
wear it.
forehead?
That would look good on you though.
I don't know.
You know, kind of a little.
No, put it around the back so it's, thick. You know how like they show the
Yeah.
men with the little
Marcus Aurelius or
Yes.
something like that. Okay.
mercury.
All right. So, really,
Okay, so you're gonna get in touch with
I'll
Charlotte?
email her and I'll
And then
CC everybody
get-
else.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
That would be
Get
good.
in
Everyone
contact
here.
with her.
and say this is as mandatory as you possibly humanly can make it because
Yes.
you
It's
said that
important.
people said they were coming and now they're not coming.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
something could have come up. I don't know.
but
We did
voting
play-
in a chair is
We did play
important.
around the time too.
What's that?
We did move the time around a bit.
There
we
was
did. I was originally later, and then it was thought of it to be a little bit too late, so we did move it earlier.
So maybe they got confused or who knows.
Yep, they might show up in 15 minutes. You know.
Maybe.
No, well,
We'll be gone by then.
we went out to everybody.
So I will CC everybody when I email her tonight to see what's
Great.
available for her.
That would be great.
She'll help you go over it and
And then hopefully we can figure out from after meeting with her who the new chair or co-chairs can be, and then we can move forward with any other decisions we need to make.
And I'll forward to you, since you're the secretary, the blank form, a filled out form, any of the other things that I've made up over the years. I'm talking about the repayment things here.
Okay, and I'll
Okay,
keep a
because I
folder
have
for-
those, and
And
then,
I can forward
however
the
you guys
folder
wanna
to whoever the
handle it.
chair is.
yeah, because the secretary can handle that anyways, I can email you.
Well, I don't delete emails, so you can email me anything.
Right, as many electronic
30,000
versions that you
emails
have
in
of
the
things
box.
is
All right.
great.
Oh, I've got tons. I can go back 2014. You sent me something. Hold on, let me search what that title. Oh, I got everything.
Me too, I don't
That's
delete
good.
them.
It's very safe.
It's basically my file cabinet.
Exactly.
I hope Google never goes out of business, because then I'm in trouble.
You back it up.
All right.
So, your plans for your next meeting are,
Well, I'm gonna
Hopefully-
contact Charlotte and see when she can come, and we'll base our next meeting around her availability.
okay, and what are you gonna discuss? Because before this meeting ends, you should probably have like some form of
Next steps.
agenda.
So
ism.
are we able to advertise that the applications are available? Or do we have to wait until we vote in a chair? What would you suggest?
It's on the town website, and it's also in the annual report that we're looking for people.
No, but I mean advertising performers who want to apply, or schools or whatever want to apply.
Yes, I said that. It was before, well before, like now,
Right, because they don't
Like
have
right
a lot
now,
of time.
put it in the newspaper. So
Right, then
that's an
okay,
ASAP,
that's- okay.
which is why I asked Mary to dig
Okay.
up an old one so you could kind of
Right.
recycle it.
So I'll do that.
And just update it with the online
Yeah.
applications, et cetera. and send it out there. And you could probably also put that on social media as well. Looking for performers, deadline October 15th, but you should check the deadline
Check the
too,
date, yeah.
just in case.
Okay,
Look.
week it is.
Y'all have
Look at
phones
that.
on you, look at the
I know,
date.
somebody look
I
at
think
the
it's
date.
October 15th, that sounds right.
No, day of the week, to make
Day of
sure
the
it's not
week.
on a weekend.
Because it's the
If it's a weekend or a holiday, then it's the next
Oh.
following business day. So she's looking.
October 15th is a Monday.
There you go,
Yeah,
October
it's not
15th is the
Columbus
deadline.
It's not Columbus Day, right?
No, that's the one before.
No.
Alright,
No.
And unfortunately, that's a work day for an awful lot of us anyway.
Columbus Day?
yeah, but that's considered a holiday.
No. I bet we
It
could
was,
find something.
last year, they were due like the 16th or something,
Because of the.
because of
It
that.
was a weekend.
It was
Yeah.
that, whatever it was. Yeah, so, voting in and then figuring out,
So I'm gonna make
What else you're
copies,
gonna do?
and I'm going to, am I gonna hold on to these copies? Am I going to hand them to?
at this
Just
point,
because I know my track record.
Okay.
at this juncture,
I'll hold on to them, okay?
I would, well, I'm holding on to the entire bag right now at my house. I
kitchen is
have
like a disaster area of all the different committees I'm on right
Hold the
now.
phone. Just give them to me tonight. I'll put them with the rest of the
With the
ones from
pile of
this
stuff.
year.
Okay,
Okay.
alright.
And then do the handoff.
And then
we know.
when we do the official handoff, because I have lots and lots and lots of files, the town said they don't have storage area for us, so, I did go back and find out from the state how many years back you have to hold files. I got rid of the ones that were prior to that.
Do
So
you
it
need-
was about half of the size that it was before, but it's a big box
Do you, do
and
we
then a
need a
smaller
file cabinet?
box.
I have a lateral file cabinet from my work. The bottom drawer doesn't work, but the top drawer does. You can fit a whole ton of, it's a nice wood finish.
I was trying to store these items at the town hall where they belong,
Right,
because these are documents
Exactly.
that
Right, town
belong in the
documents.
town hall,
right.
and they said they had no room. Now, remember, that was several years ago. Somebody should try and ask again and see if we can do it. So that's probably another little job somebody could handle at this point. Really, literally, just looking for a drawer. That's all we're looking for.
Exactly.
Drawer, whoever wants to
I
say
know.
it that way. I say drawer, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Me too. You too, though.
Yay.
Well, then here, if you're taking these, put them in your.
All right, I'll photocopy them for you.
Copies.
My last time.
All right, there's your last thing.
Last chance for Nora Jane. There we go. One thing that was forgotten this evening is to go over the previous notes from the last meeting. We kind of jumped over that.
We did.
We can table
But we're all
that-
discombobulated
We can
right
table
now
that to our
anyway.
next meeting.
I think it's okay. I mean.
And the last meeting was just to prepare for the summer concerts, review the dates, make sure we were on set on that. That
And
was-
we talked about the public interest survey also.
Oh, right.
Right.
Which was, half of the people didn't know anything about the cultural council, and other people said
We had a
music.
good amount of people.
But judging from the attendance at the concerts, I'd say that's probably
It's
still
getting
a
out
pretty
there.
good idea, but I personally would love it if there was something else that could come to town. You know, a play, anything like that, you know.
I'd love to see something a little different.
But again, that's asking for it in that article in the newspaper and on the social media. And asking people that you know. If somebody wants a grant, they have to be a Massachusetts resident.
Right.
That's a for sure. And also, the other thing I didn't talk about is asking people after they've had their performance and then they never send in a reimbursement form. They have up to 1 year from the date of performance to ask for the money. So when it gets close to like 6-7 months after the performance, you want to give the performer a call and remind them or email them. Because if it's after a year, the money gets back into the pool and we use it for the following grant cycle.
So we can hold on to them.
Right, I only encumbered Poplawski's $200 because I thought he played at Oktoberfest, you know, because he got the grant for that.
Right.
And it was nice that he was honest and
Yeah.
told me that he
Very good.
didn't play, so he didn't get the $200. He just got the other money for the other concert that
Right.
he did. So.
Yep.
Okay, great.
So we'll wait to hear from you on,
Yeah, I'll email tonight, I'll email Charlotte and see
Great.
what she says.
very good.
Wanna wrap up this rodeo?
As chair emeritus,
That's
I
not how it
would
works.
say somebody has to
I move that we.
move, make a, propose to make a movement, seconded, okay.
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.